showed up. This month there was a shipping delay with some of the Monsterbass boxes, but I finally got my Platinum Regional box in. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open and see what's inside. I've been waiting a while for this, and I'll be honest, I don't even remember what the theme for this month is. So this will be super exciting for everyone. Short days, cool nights, and early fall. To be honest, up here in the Pacific Northwest, we're pretty deep. We're from the pros, chatterbait information, versatile bladed weapon. Ooh, got a chatterbait. I love the chatterbaits. And we got diesel minnows, whatever. You know what? Let's just go through this like we usually do. So, first here we go. Here's your chatterbait. This is actually kind of really exciting. I don't think I have a regular white and chartreuse chatterbait. Maybe I do. I think I do. I probably do. Let's be honest. I have I have 2 jig boxes full of chatterbaits. A little white and chartreuse action going on there. Color of the lights is really drowning out the chartreuse. Let's try. Is it better? Kind of. A little bit. We'll try it. So it's white and chartreuse. This is a 3/8 guy, it feels like. Am I right? Yep, 3/8 white and chartreuse. I love them. Never really understood why on the white and chartreuse they give you a brass blade, but it's fine. It works. Let's find those diesel minnows. Here we go. Our paired up match here. I really like the diesel minnows. I'm usually 50-50 between the diesel minnows and the razor shad. It's just kind of how I'm feeling, and if I want to slow roll it or jackhammer versus regular chatterbait. Regular chatterbait, I think the diesel minnow or the razor shad's a really cool option. Now with the jackhammer, just razor shad it. It's worth it. It is well worth the effort to just go razor shad. If you're gonna get a jackhammer, razor shad. Yep, and I got it. Okay, so the diesel minnow is really cool. So it's got that split dorsal fin for your hook to go through, and then it's got a open belly, so that if you're fishing just like a regular jig head or you're fishing EWG style, it's all good. Now with Z-Man plastics, you don't have to be nice to them, and in order for them to go on properly, you kind of have to pull them around, so don't worry about it because they're elastic tough. And there we go. That's a sweet setup. That's super solid. What do they say about it? Oh, other things about the regular chatterbait. Oh, I kind of pulled it off a little bit there. Oh, sharp hook on my finger. That's fine. It's fine. So the regular chatterbaits, they don't have a hand-tied skirt like the jackhammers, so I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. And they have one single molded hook keeper, which is easier to work around than the double wire hook ones that are on the jackhammer. It's kind of a pain, I'll be honest. Oh, I broke one of the pieces of skirt off. That's fine. Let's see what they say about it. Belly slot for 5/0 hook. Has a 5/0 hook. 4-inch guide. They can fish it in grass, hums, sledges, open water. Brush piles. They've got it highlighted there, but not highlighted there. That's kind of weird. That must be part of that printing issue they were talking about. Riprap, points, docks, rocks, trees. Okay, this is my feeling about chatterbaits. If it is shallower, then a lot of people say 14 feet. I will say 16 feet, maybe even 18 feet, depending on clarity. If it's darker, you can get away fishing it just a little bit deeper and let it settle and kind of yo-yo it as it's going through the water. Pull, 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 so shake, doing its chatterbait thing, and then let it fall, because that minnow tail is still giving you action even when it's falling. And I've had a lot of bites on that fall. Also, when you're fishing it, you can straight retrieve it. Now, the best thing about the jackhammer and the chatterbait and just all bladed jigs in general is don't be afraid to throw it in grass. Just make sure your knots are solid, and every time you get that thing hung up, just pull on it, pull it free, and that's a really great way to force a reaction bite. Um, I agree with absolutely everything they say here. Just fish it in like 16 to 18 feet of water to zero. I mean, I've thrown chatterbaits in a foot of water just to pull them through real quick, and I'm still getting reaction bites in a foot of water. Like, just if they're going after bait fish or if it's spawn, if there's water, throw the chatterbait. Unless that water is under, say, I'd say 40 degrees, 42 degrees. Then I wouldn't throw it because it's moving a little fast. But yeah, no, I agree with everything they say. Medium to medium heavy casting rod. Perfect. 14 to 20 pound fluoro. Perfect. I'd even throw it on straight braid if the water's not great. 6.3 to 1 bait caster. Okay, I disagree with that. The easiest way to fish it, the most versatile way to fish it, is on like a 7.1 or a 7.2 to 1. You can even do it on an 8.2 to 1. But 6.3 to 1, you don't have that ability. There's certain techniques with it, just moving it, because you can burn it and let it fall. Burn it and let it fall. Kind of like a yo-yo, except for you can cover a lot more distance if you want to, and you can drop it around cover. Yeah, I disagree with that. Definitely 7.2, 7.3 to 1. That's where you want your gear ratio to be at. And this is a solid setup. I love this. And don't even be afraid to like throw different colors. Like I like to throw on my white and chartreuse jackhammer. It's all chartreuse on top and it's white on the bottom. So I'll throw like the Ayu, so it's like green on the back, or I'll throw the deal, which is green on the back and kind of a pearl on the bottom. They're pretty similar baits. This is like a standard shad color. Yeah, smoky shad. This is still a great color, even if you don't have shad. Just throw it, guys. That's solid. Solid. I love that. I'm so happy we got more chatterbaits and more Z-Man plastics. I'm a big Z-Man plastic guy. I think it's great stuff. Alright. Next up, how to target a suspended fall bass. So it's going to be a mustad underspin shad, and then a Big Bites Baits cane thumper. Okay. So, throw that in there. There's our cane thumper, 5-inch. Oh, before I completely move on, lose track, do not store your Elastec plastics with absolutely anything, any other base except for Elastec plastics. Like, just don't do that. It's going to turn into a giant, nasty mess. And best bet is just throw them back in the plastic. Even after they're used, they come off super easy. I mean, it's almost a miracle sometimes that they don't just fall off. But just throw it back in the plastic when you're done, and it's good to go. It's kind of annoying. I mean, in my jig boxes, I leave them rigged because there's only Elastec in that box, and the Elastec doesn't react with that Spro foam that I found yet, which is awesome. Anyway, back to this. Big Bites Baits. So we got a all-white cane thumper. Oh, pearl. So this is cool. It's got a split back, which is nice. Split sides, that's interesting. And a split belly. Paddle tail. Little eyes on it. Plenty of room. I'm really curious what this does. Just displace water, maybe. Alright, let's find that underspin. There it is. Our mustad underspin. I like mustad stuff. I just wish it wasn't so expensive. Alright. Let's get this guy rigged up here. This would even be a great place to put, you know what? So we're going to modify this a little bit out of the gate. So with underspins, with large heads like this one, you see how large it is right there? And then you go put this on there and it tapers back. We're just going to make it a little bit more flush. Just cut the head off of it. Just like that. And we'll go right to it, almost to the back of that area. Rig that up. Okay. Just like that. Spin that around. Get that past those keepers, because it's got wire keepers and molded keepers. Alright. That wasn't the greatest. I kind of did that too quickly and it's kind of whoop right there in the middle. But another thing we're going to do, so with underspins, it's kind of notorious that sometimes they just don't work right, and that's usually because your bait is in the way of that blade. So we'll just trim some of the bait away around the area where that blade is. Fish won't care. They're distracted by the blade anyway. They won't notice that part of this is missing. Alright, so I just trimmed a couple of ribs off right there. Cut the head off the bait. And bam! Premium underspin right there. That's super solid. I like that. What's the weight on this guy? I'm gonna guess 3/8. Yep, 3/8 ounce. Cool. That's a really sweet setup. That looks great. Alright, yep. 3/8 willow blade, darter head, double barbed keeper. You know, we saw that. Large ribs on bottom, hook pockets designed by Pro Dean Rojas. Fish in hum sledges, open water, points, riprap, docks, rocks, and trees. I think you could probably get away with fishing on grass lines, on reed lines. Brush piles, I wouldn't get near it. And trees, I'm not so sure I would want to throw that large of an exposed hook around trees, but you can. Docks for sure, rocks, yeah. Points for sure, riprap, yeah. All the rest of this, 100% agree. So for gear suggestions, it says medium heavy casting rod, agreed. 14-pound fluorocarbon, agreed. 7.2 bait caster, agreed. So the same setup that you would throw the underspin on, you throw the chatterbait on. Yeah, I even throw it on spinning on a medium fast, but it's kind of it's like a heavy medium. Works great. Wow, I'm really raspy today. But yeah, yeah, super solid. I really like that. What do we got next? The tackle. Time to excel in tough conditions. Shaky head, and we've got an X-Zones Hot Shot minnow. I feel like I've had this minnow before. Yeah, I've had this minnow before. Okay, so this minnow's actually pretty cool. I kept catching little dinks on it, but I think it's just the time that I was fishing and where I was fishing at. With the summer and everything, all the lakes around me are down like 6 feet. And I still get new things, and I still want to try them. I still want to experiment with them, but I don't always get quite the success that I would like. Alright, this terminal tackle, Monsterbass Sabertooth Shaky Head Jig, 3/16 to 3/8. What size did I get? Oh, I got quarter. Awesome. That's actually perfect. I would have almost loved the 3/16 the most, but a quarter, that's solid. Alright, let's get this rigged up here real quick. Alright. Oh. And I love that they give you 3 hooks. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Okay. Wow. This is a little guy for such a big shaky head, kinda, in my opinion. Okay. Screw him on there. Keep screwing him on there. Go a little bit more, just like that. Bend that down just a hair. Too early. There we go. That ain't bad. Okay. So the color on this is Hot Shot Minnow. Yeah. And this is actually pretty cool. So it's going to sit just like that on the bottom, and this little tail is just kind of around. It's got a lot of action in it. With that floating tail, that's pretty cool. This is kind of a big, shaky head for this. This would be perfect, I think, for more like an airtail worm. Or like a shaky worm, of course. But this is cool. If it was just a little bit bigger, I think I'd be a little bit happier with it. But this is still super solid. I like that. That's pretty cool. This box is really, really good. Can't believe I forgot what this month was. Alright, let's see what they say about it. Humps, ledges, points, docks, rocks, trees. Okay. So, I'll tell you right now, if you're going after, like, later season, like summer, or even, like, spring, definitely throw the drop shot, or the shaky head, like, wherever you want. I would throw it in grass, right into the beds. Near the beds, drag it past the beds, drag it around the tunnels to the beds. Don't be afraid of that. Also, in deep water, shaky heads work great for smallmouth. And you can find them on rock piles, like 20 feet of water. They will hit that because they'll hear it. Or you could even, if you wanted to, you could put a little rattle right here, a little rattle chamber right inside the body, right where it goes to that cork spot. Solid. So yeah, definitely, I would fish in open water. I do fish it in open water. I fish it in grass. I fish it in reeds because it's fantastic for that. It's great for, actually, I like skipping these too. It's pretty easy. Of all the baits to skip, with the spinning rod especially, easy. Riprap, I agree with that. I wouldn't do that. Brush piles, I would throw a shaky head in a brush pile because it's basically weedless. There's not a lot to go wrong there. So I would throw this in a brush pile, definitely. Mats, no, they're right. Points, yeah. Docks, rocks, trees, all of those things, yes. Just throw the shaky head in the water. It's great. Or even, so if you're out on a lake and you have flats that come up, throw it there. And even like drag it down the edges or drag it up the edges on the sides. Just throw it. Like, you'd be surprised the things that you can get with a shaky head. Especially ledges. Yeah, they have ledges. Cool. Alright, next page. Man, I like that. Temp drops, suspending bass, jerkbait time. I love jerkbaits. Jerkbaits, spinners, and, like, cranks. That's like, I'd throw it all, but I like jerkbaits. I even recently picked up a new jerkbait rod from Six Gill, and that's what I got a Shimano Scorpion 70 for. Super excited. I didn't even look at this. So this is a Baker Lures JLD series jerkbait. It's silver black or silverback. Does it say weight? Oh yeah, half ounce, 375. So this is like a 100 size, roughly, jerkbait talk. Um, yeah, what is this? 2 to 5 feet. Is that what we're doing here with this? Suspending depth of about 3 feet. Doesn't say. I bet you could pull if you had enough area and you could throw this far enough, and you were using like 8-pound test. You could probably pull this down to like 6 feet. Easy. Maybe even 7 or 8. But, so, for those of you that don't know how jerkbaits work, and, you know, I've actually been surprised lately how many of, like, my friends and people I meet don't really understand how this works. So, you throw it out, okay, you reel in just a little bit. You'll understand what I mean by a little bit when you try it. So what you're doing with that is you're pulling it down to a depth, okay? And then with light twitches of your rod, or you do heavier twitches, or twitch however you want, you twitch it, and this thing just in the water, back towards you. And depending on how quickly you twitch it, how far you twitch it, will depend on how it works in the water. So you're going to want to try all kinds of different things. So with the jerkbait, you can go like twitch, twitch, pause, twitch, twitch, pause, or you do 3 twitches. And your number of twitches, I would keep varying that up till you catch a fish. And then you know kind of what cadence they're going to go for. Now, as the water temperatures drop, your twitches need to slow down. Or not slow down, but your pauses need to go bigger between twitches. So you could, like, say it was November. Your water temps are down mid-40s, whatever, okay? Maybe even colder. You're going to go, like, twitch, twitch, wait, like, 4 or 5 seconds. Twitch, twitch, wait 4 or 5 seconds. Or even longer. Also, just a rule of thumb, the clearer the water, the less you want it to pause. So, not necessarily you're going to be like, twitch, you know, like a big long twitch. You're going to be like, short pop, pop twitch. Pop, 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 pop. Bringing it in at the same speed as you would as if you're like, big twitch, pause for 4 seconds. So just like, pop, 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 pop. Because you don't want them to get a good look at it in clear water. In murky water, you, like, do whatever you want. Because the action of it is going to be what helps the bass find it. And the darker the water is, the more you can just be like, pop, 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 pop. Like, all winter long. But little pops. Like, pew, 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 pew. Because this, you can hear the sound. Here, like, I'll hold the hooks. They make a lot of sound. Now, I haven't personally used this brand, but I am a big fan. I like the Monsterbass jerkbaits. They're pretty good. They're not Vision 110 good, and that's like the bar. The Guggen Scout, that's a pretty good jerkbait. It's fairly good. Now, you'll notice with different jerkbaits, depending on how they're made, will depend whether they sit in the water like this, flat, or if they'll be nose up. Okay? And that's another thing to keep in mind. Fish might not like it being nose up. They might not like it being nose down. They might not like it being horizontal. You're just going to have to just experiment. Like, if you know they're there, throw a couple different styles and try different cadences just to figure out how they're going to bite. Jerkbaits are a little bit more complicated because you have how they sit in the water, where they sit in the water, the sound they make, the size they are, your cadence, the color. It's a big long thing. All right, so let's talk about this. Yeah, I pretty much already talked about all this. Oh, this actually has VMC treble hooks. That's pretty cool. That's a huge confidence boost. Even though they're non-EWG style treble hooks, them being VMC, that explains why they're so sticky. And they're quality hooks. Let's see. Depth and location, grass. No, don't throw it in grass. Do not throw a jerkbait in grass. Grass edges? Grass lines? Oh yeah, throw it. Reed lines? Throw it. Humps? Throw it. Brush piles? Do not get near it. Maybe like 4 or 5 feet away where you know your jerkbait's not gonna over to it. Yeah. Ledges? I throw jerkbaits on ledges, and I have no shame in that. Open water? Definitely. Riprap? Yep. Points? Oh yeah. Mats? No. No. Absolutely not. Docks? Yeah. Rocks? Yeah. Trees? Okay. After you fish a jerkbait for a while, brush piles, grass, reeds, trees, all of those things are going to become an option as soon as you know, like, what you do to it, how it affects your jerkbait, and after you fish with it, because every single one's slightly different. The way they're weighted, the way they sit in the water, how they react to different motions. As soon as you have it figured out, you can fish around all this except for mats. Do not get a jerkbait into a mat. You're going to lose your jerkbait. Same thing with trees and brush piles. Till you know exactly what it's going to do, don't get near it. Till you know how deep it's going to go with your line, don't get near it. Alright, so they have down a 610 medium fast casting rod. I would agree with that. However, my new jerkbait rod is 6'9", medium fast, and it's casting rod. So it's a carbon body with a glass tip. It's cool, it's a hybrid. 14-pound fluorocarbon. I disagree. So, with 14-pound fluorocarbon is the way to go with a jerkbait, because it is a heavy line. It's not going to try to float. It's not going to change how it sits in the water. I kind of wish they would have given me a different color one now, because every time I hold it in front of the paper it disappears. It'll change the way it sits in the water. Okay, with 14-pound fluoro, you're not... Okay, so you kind of have to think about jerkbait sort of in the sense of the way that you think about a crankbait. Alright, if you've got big, heavy, thick line, it's not going to dig as deep as it would as if it was on lighter line. But then again, you do not want to throw it on lighter line because there's a chance a big boy is going to come up and smack it, and you're going to lose it. And your jerkbait. And then you're going to feel bad because you lost your jerkbait inside a fish. So I would say more realistically, 10, 12 pound. There's no reason to throw a jerkbait on 14 pound really. And even at that, I run 14 pound leaders on, or 14 pound, 12 pound leaders on basically everything. And yeah, it works great. You can get them down to the recommended depths. With 14 pound, I think you'd be on the shyer end of their depths that they say that they'll go. Like, this is probably more realistically a 3.5. With 14 pound fluoro, you'd probably be like 3.5, 4, maybe. With 10 or 12 pound, very easily hit that 5. Now, if you're in a fishery and you know that your fish are either not going to be quite as hard hitting as you would expect, or they're going to be not super large, and you're willing to fight them, you can get away with 8. I've done it with 8. 6, I'd be iffy about doing it with 6. I wouldn't do it with 6. 8, yeah. 10, yeah. 12, that's what I run. 14, I disagree with that. That's just me though. And then for a reel, they say 6'3" to 1 bait caster. Yeah, that'd work. I mean, that's basically, this right here is basically a solid setup for like a smaller medium cranking rod, which would be perfect. The only thing is yeah, I'd agree with that, but I'd still go 7.2. Makes it a little bit more versatile. You're never gonna burn a jerkbait. Let's be realistic about that. But when you're fighting a fish, if you are to the point where you can dodge around this stuff and you're gonna fight them off of cover, go big. And with a jerkbait, you're not reeling the bait. You're not. You're reeling the slack. So you'll be like when you twitch, you're gonna be like just popping the reel, so it just picks up the slack. So if something does hit it, you're tight. Getting what I'm putting down there? Oh yeah, we got it really good. See, I gotta add commentary for you guys every once in a while. Yeah, so let's put this down. Wow, we're 30 minutes into this. I keep talking. Chatterbait hacks, they talked about that. Live, the moon phases, which I really love they put this in here. And then your R-Proof, your PB. I really love the Platinum box. And the really cool thing is they gave me a rod cover. I actually really like the Monsterbass rod covers, and this will be great on my new rod. Red. I got a blue one last time. I was actually kind of upset the first time I got one, but I've actually come to really like... So the Monsterbass rod covers, they're kind of slimmer profile than most casting ones, and they don't have the doofy tip like the Field and Stream ones. And they're slightly shorter than the Field and Stream ones, so they just fit better, guys. They just fit better. And the Monsterbass logo ties up the webbing here, so it doesn't get all fat and weird. So when you put it on, this is the only part that can get fat and weird around your lure. This is unintentional, but I like it. I like these a lot. What's this card? Oh, Lunker Sticks. $40 off Lunker Sticks. I got my Monsterbass sticker. This thing's cool. I have this one. And my golden ticket. But yeah, okay, so I rambled on for 30 minutes. For the giveaway, the keyword for this video is going to just be jerkbait, because I rambled about that for too long. Yeah, so go ahead, enter. I'm going to put my information for my Instagram down below. Message me the keyword, and I'll get you put in for the drawing for the giveaway. It's a really exciting giveaway. The value is probably close to like 200, 250, something like that. I'm putting swim baits. I'm covering everything. And if whoever wins is a trout fisherman or fishes multi-species, I'm going to throw extra stuff in, just the bass stuff, because I got really neat stuff that I have extras of, or I accidentally bought multiples of, or things that I just bought specifically for the giveaway. So, yeah, that's it. That's the video. I'm going to shut up. You guys stay safe out there, tight lines, and take care. Later.